Hey everyone, it's Joe Glines here in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, and Jackie Sztuk here from Copenhagen, Denmark.
So today we're actually following up on the podcast we did last week. We were playing with BlueStacks and we were trying. When I say we, I say it's Jackie, like because I haven't done any of this stuff. Jackie was working through trying to do a drag click in BlueStacks, and we tried different approaches, especially with the control, using control and also send and post messages. And unfortunately, those just we couldn't get them to work right. And at the very end, I'm like, hey, well, what if we use just like the regular sending mouse clicks? And so Jackie very quickly, within what I'd say like 2 minutes, demonstrated how to do it that way. But we finished the call and he's like, I think, if we use the ADB bridge,
Android data bridge,
that we could crank this thing out. So let me share my screen here, and Jackie's going to show off his brilliance again. And I'm going to sit and bug and ask questions.
So we have BlueStacks to, I probably need some control.
You still have it, do you? No?
Oh, it's just not the correct color here for me to normally have control. So like that, yeah. Okay. So to use the Android data bridge, there's a few different ways, but you could include an exit, the Android data bridge exit, whatever version. But in this case, we'll go and look in the BlueStacks folder, because most of these emulators already have the Android data bridge application included, and Joe is pointing at it here, I see. So yeah, it does have that. So instead of going all out and trying to set something up ourselves, we'll simply use this for our demonstration here. So I think Joe, he double clicked it and probably not show you anything but something blinking. That's most likely a terminal coming up or command line. But if we instead, like Joe has done here, open a command line window and go to the BlueStacks window or path, and enter, in this case, HD ADB.exe, like that. And in this case, we can just press enter, and then we'll get the help, I'd call this, with all the possible, or maybe not all the possible commands, but at least an overview of commands you can use.
And just to back up a step, Jackie, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I know because you typically work in Knox, right? And Knox has a similar type thing, is that correct?
Yeah. The Android data bridge is an Android tool, so it isn't related to the emulators. It's related to Android, so you could use it with a normal Android device, and you can use it with, at least from my knowledge, most emulators. If it's Android, you can use it to communicate. Okay, so in this case, I'll have that. Maybe this, can we make this one? Yeah, it's like, maybe if this one is down here, just so we have access to some of it. I don't think we'll really need it, but hey. So we'll use the run command. We know that it's a simple command from AutoHotkey, and then we'll enter the same thing as you did here, Joe. C : / program files / BlueStacks. And then the HD ADB.exe, like that. And if we ran this, we should get something similar to what we're seeing down here happen. Let's see. It just blinked on us.
Right.
Let's see if we put in this here, if that helps. It's doing the same thing as when we actually were. Oh, can you pull up the the BlueStacks folder?
Sure. Second.
So it's doing the same thing as when I actually double click on this. It's just blinking open that one for a very small time. And we can use other methods of sending stuff to the command line, but here we have the basics, or the base of what we need. And what you do is all of these commands that we see here, we can use that in extension of this. So here we can, I'll just do it this way, not because it's needed. We could have included it in a single string, but here we can then actually start using some of the commands that we see down here. And the one that I will be using this time is the shell command to send commands to the shell on the Android device here. And the command I'll be using with it is the input command. And you can go and look up the input command and you can get its parameters. But in general, it's like input tab, and then you could say coordinates 2, 2, 2, 2, like. But in this one, it would just be tapping at the coordinates 2.2, right? So if we remember the coordinates of this one down here from last time,
right?
I don't.
Well, they're on the screen, aren't they? See below?
They're probably down here, yeah. So if we go with one of these, this one should be the right one. 50, 480. Let's just try with that. 50, 480. And let's see, I have a small space here, so there actually is a space. And then save and run. Blinked so fast.
Yeah.
I'd like to just take this. I didn't catch it all, but worth a try, and do the same thing over here just to confirm. So hd adb.exe and that, and say okay, error closed. Okay, interesting. So why did that fail? Not really sure how to fix that.
Sure, yeah.
Not seen the closed thing before.
Should we just restart BlueStacks?
We can try.
Find it. So I think, just as an, by the way, you decided, hey, let's bring it into its own environment to test there before we dig too much into AutoHotkey, right? Which obviously was the right approach, because we could have wasted a lot of time.
Yeah, finding out that it had that error closed.
Yeah. This we can just hit continue anyway, right? This is just a.
Yeah. Continue anyway, yeah. To me, it's like if we add, or if we would run that again, still giving us the same error, which is kind of a bummer, because as I've never seen the error before, I'm not really sure how we will fix that. I'm just reading up on something here.
There we go. All right.
Okay. Yeah. So just looked up online, and apparently you need to turn it on when you're using BlueStacks here. So
and turn the ADB bridge on.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that before, but let's see if we can't find it in here.
And I'm going from memory because I know it was like a year or more ago. You and I were talking about this. The ADB is actually kind of like a server run in the Android environment. Is that right? That you connect to?
I'm sorry, I didn't listen well enough to what you said.
Yeah, I was just trying to. I remember from a long time ago, if I remember correctly, the ADB bridge is actually a server kind of run in the environment, and that's you're connecting to it, and you're talking to that server that's on the Android platform, for lack of a better term. Is that correct?
Yeah, just like with the Windows OS, Java has a way of running, and this Android data bridge is like an API or whatever you call that. It is just a tunnel to communicate with the Android OS, and that's why when you have the command here with the shell or with other, it is you want to communicate with a specific part of the Java running on the device. And now I've enabled this, and hopefully with these save changes, it didn't say so. So let's see if just running this here will still give us much more interesting, right? So if we again, can you start the game? You know where it was.
Actually, I don't know where it went. Oh, there we go. My games.
Yeah, and again, the only reason we use this game, not because we have any kind of specific feeling about this game, it's just a game we know you have to drag to operate, and that's why we picked it. So let's see if we can get that going. It's actually interesting that we're in the tutorial still, Joe, because it has dragging, and that makes a lot of sense for our case here. And because we haven't finished the tutorial, we're just stuck. As soon as we manage to do those 4 drags, it will probably.
All right.
Okay, so I'm thinking of just running this
Right.
thing over here again and seeing if these coordinates and stuff will just work. And let's see if we're lucky. Nothing really happened in the game, at least, well, right? So I'll take this entire command here over and add it to something over here. Has become weird because I wrote that. So
oh, right. Yeah. It's not liking you doing stuff.
No, I'm thinking we'll close it, and if you can.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll add in. Oh, okay. Interesting. I didn't believe it would just run it like that. So I'll just write hd adb.exe space.
Well, that was different.
It took it without.
Is it possible those coordinates are different?
They might be, but they shouldn't be that different.
Yeah.
Maybe the interesting part would be to go and look on the input command here. You can open up a browser of some sort.
Oh, sure. Second.
If we just, okay, couldn't type there. So ADB shell input. Let's see here. Fair enough. Some different key codes you can use. Yeah. Fair enough. Using.
There's the tap position.
There's the tap, and to me, it seems like we had the correct parameters, at least. So the next thing is probably, as we talked about, that the coordinates are not the correct ones. Even though that's because we had probably some coordinates for. Oh,
it's not the right one either. Sorry.
We had the Windows part coordinates that, of course, are telling us the coordinates on the Windows control. And when I'm pointing at this and pointing at that, it seems like it's a pretty good ballpark of where it should be. Yeah. I do think you can turn on some kind of coordinate showing thing.
In that
here.
help, in the browser in Chrome, I was reading something on that page. It said to get locations, check the pointer location. See under developer options. Is that?
Yeah.
Right.
Are you seeing it here on the page somewhere or what? Yeah, exactly. That's the thing that I was going to turn on, but I'm not sure if those are turned on BlueStacks.
Right.
But let's see if we can find the developer options here. So home.
Yeah, the settings.
Yeah, but it's not really these options that we're
Right.
after. We are after the actual Android device options, which I don't know where would they put those on BlueStacks.
What is the gear down there? The same thing as the.
Maybe.
Yeah.
No, it's not really that.
Yeah, it's the same as the other stuff, right?
I'd kind of need the home button, so I could see the desktop, so I could see the Android settings. But do they have them somewhere here? Help and support? Yeah. Any of these? Here? Click that.
What's that home right there? What's that?
Yeah, the home here, that's what we're looking at. So I'm like, my games, game center, but still not. Can we search for settings perhaps?
I think you're in the game center right now.
Yeah, but there's only the game center.
Yeah.
Right. It's like.
Well, the help over here. Do you think that's the same thing? Oh, I don't even know what that does. That's interesting.
I'll press these 3 buttons for more.
How about, well, let's go back to Chrome and Google.
Yeah, let's do that.
Turn
Google
on
the developer options. Yeah, on BlueStacks. Let's open a new tab. Yeah, okay. You were copying something.
It's all right.
You have control.
Okay. I was turning it on, but
yeah, but that's what we need, kind of, right? So, and go to settings, preferences. No, that's something else. It should be in the first top here. Yeah, I'll press this button here. Your entire discussion. BlueStacks, go to settings, preferences, enable the Android data bridge.
Which is what
we already did. That's
right.
Not the same thing.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Let's go back to the search.
Do we need to enable developer mode in BlueStacks?
Yeah. That's the thing.
See the go down one more, right here.
Yeah. How to enable developer mode? But that's the same thing. Let's click it still.
Hey, not that I care, but I'm just curious. I saw enabling mock locations somewhere. Would that have it's up here near the top. Would that have fixed our other issue before, or is that something entirely different?
Yeah, that's you can still mark locations if you're a developer on Android for applications that allow you to mark the location. Do you get what I'm saying? So
yeah, I was interpreting locations as something different. Yeah, sorry, I understand now what they're meaning.
How to access developer actions and enable USB debugging, but you don't. You see here, they actually are in the Android settings,
Right.
and that's how you turn that on. Fair enough, fair enough. That's how it usually looks. There's nothing really new here.
So should we Google how to get to Android settings in BlueStacks?
Yeah, let's try and do that. It's just settings menu. I think you can now enable, disable access, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, rearrange, no.
Yeah, these aren't the Android settings.
No. But maybe you can enable it somewhere.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Standard Android switch between, no. Gamepad detection.
That preferences one, would that allow you to get your home button? That one there, the arrange icons. Is there a home button somewhere? Doesn't look like,
Not seeing it. No.
Bummer.
Yeah. Advanced. Yeah. Game settings. Settings menu for an older version. Why? Oh, why?
Hold on one second, Jack. Okay, so
Okay. So we found that. Let's go and see if we can turn that on in the BlueStacks settings. Settings, preferences, and there should be more down here somewhere. Let's see, input debugging just below it. Yeah. Show pointer location with current touch data. Yeah, sure. Okay, so saving that, and now when going over here, we can now hear. I don't know if you can read it. It's a bit too small for me to read it.
Read it. Where are you looking?
In this small white.
Holy cow! Yeah.
Maybe drag BlueStacks bigger. Yeah, I'm not good at dragging with this remote control here.
There we go.
So now it became a bit larger. So when I do that, it shows it.
64807.
Yeah. So if you look at that, it's totally different from what we had.
Totally different.
It's 75 823. It's because it's using the real resolution, where the resolution we're using is the drag down one. So here we'll change those to 75 times 820 and drag this one a bit smaller again. Look at the game here and try and run this. Didn't take it. I actually thought it would. Was it because I dragged it again? I'll click here. Yeah, see.
That's close.
No, it's still correct.
Yeah.
So if we say HD ADB exe like that.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it did it. It worked that way. Over here, it's pretty much the same thing going on, isn't it?
Sure looks like it.
Let me copy this line and put it in over here. Just to remove any types of variables between the two.
Right.
And save and run. Did it come up with an error this time?
Yeah, look down below in that output.
So what? Why is that line failing? It's the line in itself. There, don't see anything wrong with it. Do you? Oh, here, that one. It's not allowed. Like so. Save and run. Still failing for something weird. Why is it failing? This is not an error with the Android data thingy. This is just an error with the run. So it took that one,
right?
But with this added on, it fails.
You don't need a like a dash there in front of the shell or input.
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, you obviously didn't use them in the other one. Sorry. Yeah.
How about something like that again?
You want a space on one of those, right? Yeah.
So now it's not.
Right, it didn't.
Now the script is at least running the line without an error, but it doesn't seem as if it actually
run it one more time, please. Okay. I thought I heard a ding that last time, but I didn't. Not that that would matter, but
shouldn't do anything. Okay, so let's see. We have a few more parameters here. We have target. We have working directory.
That working directory I've run into before. That
yeah, it's the thing I'm thinking about as well. Let's say that we want this to be the working directory. It's a command, so it does not need, right?
Yeah, the quotes.
Yeah. Okay. Hide, min max, use error level, output warp, and no, none of those should be needed. Nah, still not doing the click. So here it's doing it, but here it's not. I'm gonna look over here. I'm gonna find
how about, and then maybe this is silly, we actually moved the script into that directory?
Yeah, worth a try. Sure. Can
Let's-
you save it over there?
Yeah, give me a second. There we go. Okay, now we're there.
Did you try and run it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Nothing happened. Okay. Is it? It's not.
Now that we're there, can we just run? You get rid of the path. Not that it shouldn't matter, right? But we should be able to just use the HD.
Yeah, we should be able to just do it like so, and if we remove that part here.
Yeah, and if we really care to change it back to a run instead of run wait.
Yeah. And we can remove that as well. And okay, so I'll remove that and I'll make this part here like so.
Here, let me see it for a second. All right. I hit Control S. Now, all right, now it's I don't understand. Nothing changed, but it did save. Still nothing.
Yeah, and you ran it?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of weird. And that's my own. Can you pull up the file folder? Yeah, it's there. And we're in program files. There shouldn't really be anything there.
It didn't seem to do anything.
Yeah, it didn't send a click at least.
Far out.
That is kind of far up. Okay, so let's see if we can do something about maybe opening up a terminal and sending the command there instead of just using the run command. Maybe we can do that. Or no, I still think the tab should just work. It doesn't really make sense try and do something else.
For a second, I was going to say maybe it's a studio thing, but the fact I double clicked it in that folder and that didn't work, that, you know, that should have worked, right? So
yeah, I'd say that should have worked. So I'm not seeing anything in the stuff I'm looking at on my screen either. So I'll go and grab a piece of code. Should be able to copy it over into your machine, right?
hopefully. Okay, so Jackie, you want to explain? Just
I can try. We tried quite a few things while the recorder was off, but we found out that all of the weird things we tried probably weren't actually the cause of the issue. So what ended up working, just to take that, is with the path and the actual file in quotes here, and all of the parameters without. As soon as we try to put the parameters in quotes here, it stops working, even if we just, even if we put it into a single quote or string here, that also fails. So,
or add a space after the exe or before the shell.
Yeah,
no matter what, it just
we
breaks.
did all kinds of things, but
It's wild.
This one here, where you have the file path in its own string for the run command to interpret, and then the things you actually want that program to get as parameters. So if we now run this, as a small terminal comes up, and you can subdue that if you don't want to see that. It's the third parameter here. I'll put in the space there and put in a comma and a comma, an extra comma, and then hide. And then I'll save and run. And now you won't see that box, but the action will still happen. Right? This is a way to input a simple tab at a location. So we've turned on how to see the locations, and we have now performed a single tab. Fair enough. If we now wanted to instead drag this one, we can't actually see anything on this. Can you drag it bigger, Joe?
Yeah,
I can't seem to hit it. Okay, so we can take these coordinates here and say 900, 450, right? That's those, and then we'll take 900 and 550. Oh,
oops.
Okay, fair enough. I'll try and do it with this one instead. 700 and 350, and 700 and 250. Okay, I'm just clicking and releasing. I'm not making any type of movement. I'm clicking on that one, releasing it, and then I'm clicking on that one. I apparently can't be clicking on that one. That will actually make it do the move. So I'll click here and say 990, 350. Okay, and this one is just 100 lower. So 990, 350. There's a bit too much.
And then the other one was 100 lower, you said?
Yeah, this is just a tab, right? And the reason kind of like if I'm actually
don't touch it, man. Yeah.
So we need to be 1090 and not 990. It's like there's something off there. So like so. So now we have the correct coordinates for this. And sadly enough, with this game, we now know that if we do a click on that yellow one, it will perform the action. Because it's a tutorial. But the input here, the shell input command, has this parameter tab. But there's others. There's text. Oh, not like that. Text like that, and then you can put text here you want it to enter. But there's also, from what I remember, and I do remember it's all of it, there's drag and drop. And I don't think it needs the correct case. So let's see. But it has the same here. It has the X and the Y of the start and the X of the Y of the end. So I'll say 1090, 250. And then we'll try that. Save, run. So there weren't any real action that happened. Still having a hard time on tracking these windows here.
I get it for you.
Fair enough.
Oh. Where are you wanting it to go?
I just wanted to see more at the other window, but so the drag and the drop might be case sensitive. I'm not sure. So can you open Chrome? And we like this one. Yeah, drag and drop. I'll write something more. Wasn't supposed to be in like that. That's not it. One of the things that I'm missing with AD Data Bridge is a really good documentation file where I can just go and look up the ADB shell input commands and their parameters. And it's most likely out there. I'm not saying it's not out there. It's just when I do searches here on Google, it's not showing up. And it's just like, why is it not showing up? I know that this stuff exists. And it should not be popping up with this necessarily. It should truly be popping up with even with that ADB shell input documentation, it's still let's see if there's something here. Input text, shell input keyboard text, shell input key event, shell input, set input tab, XY point swap. There's a simple script here, but still it's not, it's an example. It's not.
Yeah, I understand. It's not the, like you see in Microsoft, the object in every parameter.
No, exactly. It's like list packages.
But why don't you, over on the right, there's a search. Once you search for drag and drop here, you think this is a...
perhaps. I did see the drag and drop thing at some point, but again, let's try and search in one word, drag and drop. That's something completely different.
Right. How confident are you that it's drag and drop?
Like to say 100%.
Yeah, I know you have great memory, so I was just curious. I'm just really shocked that we didn't see anything coming up.
Yeah. totally. It's like, it's weird. I know it has a swap or, you know, the swapping action. Swipe, the swiping action, but swiping has the unintended thing of actually keeping the momentum. So if you do a swipe, it will actually add in some kind of momentum to it, which isn't really what we're trying to do here. If you want to perform something precise, that would be.
Hold on 1 second.
This is the exact same thing. Oh, sorry, were you searching?
Oh, it's all right. Well, I was just going to search for drag on that page.
Yeah, but I just out here, I saw it was exactly the same things in the list as we just saw.
Oh, okay.
So I just think it's the exact same page, but with another formatting.
Understood.
So that's changing file. But yeah, you're right. It should be in here, but drag doesn't even come up. Right. Like as if you couldn't drag.
Yeah, you're not going to drop it.
ID data bridge, input, drag. Drag was a swap.
Yeah, but swipe. Yeah.
Swipe. Yeah, he even says it here that it adds this momentum or whatever I'd call it. Send event. That's a specific event code. They're too close to it here. Get event. Get. Yeah. That's not. We're trying to send the event in a different manner.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Give me a second.
Yeah.